Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Black. Today, we're going to talk about season 9, episode 1 of Ready to Love. Now, if this is your first time tuning into the channel, I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to the content you're reviewing today. Now, in episode 1 is usually for me more of a breakdown of the cast, what I think about their approach and what they have on, different things like that. Some things I miss, some things I don't miss. Sometimes I catch too much, but I invite you guys along for the journey. So, welcome to the channel. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk about April. April comes in, says, hey, I want tall, dark, and handsome. Nothing's wrong with that. But I just wish that when people are asked what they look for in a man or a woman, they list the characteristics of that man or woman that they feel is ideal for them. Now, when it comes to her outfit, I think, as a single man coming in looking at her outfit, would that be someone I would like to see? And it's kind of back and forth for me. I love the pencil skirt, not a problem there. But the feathery top, though, like I said, from a male's perspective, I don't think that would be something that I would gravitate towards. But that's just me personally. All right, next up we have Laron. Laron is a systems operations manager. Now, to be honest with you, I was not feeling Laron's outfit because he gave the appearance that it was a suit, but he broke a man rule. You don't wear a blue blazer with blue slacks because you're not going to get that identical blue. He should have either worn a suit or he should have worn some khakis with that blue blazer and would have still had the same effect, the light blue shirt. But it was something thrown off about that. And April, her response to it was just like, you know, you look nice, as something kind to say, as something to say when you don't really have anything to build a conversation off of. But what you really want, you want to feel some type of emotion when someone gives you a compliment. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know it's true. So if she had said, "Okay, I see you. Okay, Okay, I see you. You look nice. All right," something that's a little bit more on the side of excitement to get to know more about you, and what she sees she likes, so she has something to want to kind of like pursue when it comes to you. But that didn't take place. Now then Mieka comes in. Mieka is a very pretty young lady. She reminds me a lot of the vibe that I got when Alexis from last season came in. Very pretty, lovely smile, all those good things. And she has some sense of humor to her too. I like that. But when she came in, LaRon asked her name first. Now, when LaRon asked for her name first, I don't agree with that. Personally, ladies, this is nothing against you guys, but as a man, I think he should introduce himself first, extend his hand, and then allow her to introduce herself. Don't ask for her name, because whether or not a lady wants to give her name to you or not could be an indicator of how she's into you. So especially at first meet, you say, "Oh, hey, hello, my name is Black." Extend your hand. So shake your hand and say, "Okay, nice to meet you." And that's it. It's a wrap. But any woman who really wants to talk to you is going to want to make herself known. "Hello, I'm Mieka." That would have been a return, So something that really, really small that can make you stand out a little bit more masculine, guys, when you approach your women and trying to get a gauge of how they feel about you. All right, so next up we have damonte. Damonte is a photographer, fashion designer, all the above. The man says that his confidence is going to win the ladies over. Now, Mieka said the brother looked like he's auditioning for the Nutcracker. I'm telling you, when she said that, I was on the floor. But very true, because that outfit wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. Now, it's a certain way you can wear a suit like that, but that was not it. That's like had some big tennis shoes on, and it was a little bit too much. It looked like he was trying too hard. That's what it is. It looked like he was trying too hard, and no one wants to see that. They want to see you try. If you tried hard, that it comes off like you hit it. You hit the bullseye. Not that you're doing too much. So, Monte, that was a sad, sad shame, sir. Now, up next we have Will. Now, Will is a real estate developer. I just don't understand what he was thinking when he wore that sweater shirt or whatever that was he had on. That's not something that screams grown man. That's something more so screams old man. And you got to get that together on his next go around. But Will came in. He said he's handsome. He's a total package. And usually when guys do all that, that boasting, it's not something that's going to be desired by the women at all. So he comes in, he does give Mieka a compliment and saying, "Wow, you're really pretty, you're really beautiful." I like the compliment, but I like it when men tell women compliments to their face with eye contact, so it can be felt and heard. Him saying it behind her back, like literally behind her back, walking behind her, it just don't hit the same. It's just like something he just threw out there. So when you compliment a woman, fellas, you want to make sure that you have the eye contact that's necessary. You want to make sure she understands what you're saying, takes it in the right way. All right, so up next we have William. Now, William is a comedian. He comes in and made his presence known. He came to try to introduce himself, and damonte decided that he wanted to kind of roast him a little bit. So nothing wrong with a little harmless roast, but at the same time, at first meet, that comes off as if you're a little either jealous, envious, or whatever, because his voice was a little bit deeper than his is. Well, a lot deeper than Devontae's is, but um, you got to just shrug off the haters. Now, William also, by being a comedian, he tells April he's a comedian. Immediately, she wants him to tell her a joke. She wants him to make her laugh, and I don't really understand that. You People think that people who are funny or comedians can tell jokes and make people laugh on the spot. That's not really what it's about. It's a different type of art to it. But I wish I would stop hearing that too. He brought it up and he mentioned himself that people always want to hear him tell a joke or whatever. Come check me out. If you really want to hear me laugh, want to see me laugh, make you laugh, or whatever, come check me out. All right, so next up we have Alexis. Alexis, when she came in, she asked damonte, she said, "I see your little brooch there. Are you a barber?" But that was so funny. Like he knew, he had to know he was losing when someone misinterprets your outfit to be something else that it's supposed to be. Yes, it's not a win. It's not a win for you at all. But Alexis then comes out and she says, "I'm looking for a clean man. I want his nails to be clean, teeth. These things are discussed, shameless plug, in my new ebook, ladies and gentlemen, Behaviors of an Intentional Man. If you want a copy, well, how you can get a copy, it'll be in the description." Now back to Alexis. What did she mean when she said he can tickle my pickle? What was that about? I mean, because I was like, who tickling what? You ain't supposed to have no pickle to be tickled. You know what I mean? Your job. Um, so she lost me when she said that. Matter of fact, that would have lost my complete interest if I'm having a conversation with a woman and she tells me I can tickle her pickle. Because I'm completely thrown off. What were we talking about again? What's going on? All right, so up next we have Domonique. So my first question is why? Why? Why are you carrying this woman's purse? I don't understand it. That's how you want to intro to the show, holding the bag, sir? I don't know if that was editing or that's just, more than likely it was, but you should not be holding her bag. This is the first time you've met this woman, and it's a clutch that never looks good, sir. Fellas, that never looks good. So, Dominique comes in, talks to April. I would have liked it if you kind of guided her to her seat because it seemed like she was fumbling a little bit. Guys, this man, a gentleman, you're supposed to be able to notice those things and going to take care of that. And that's something that gentleman he could have done, but holding her back is just a no go for me. So he had a conversation with her, talking about he want to have 2 to 10 children. That's a huge gap, a huge gap. So that means that he needs to go back and do some thinking about exactly how many children he wants to have, because saying something like 2 to 10 is more like, I have a number, but I don't want to say my number because I know my number is frowned upon. Like he knows that most women will be more willing to have 2, but not the 10 he's looking to have for real, for real. And then you have to have a plan. If you're going to tell a woman on your first date that you want to have up to 10 kids, you have to give her a plan to follow that of how you're planning on caring and nurturing for those 10 kids. So I think he dropped the ball there, unless that part was edited out. Next up, I thought we was going to have Glenn. I was going to get this man all types of props. I think I still give him props for being a male teacher, because we definitely need more men in the education field to help shape these young minds. So I was going to give him a shout out for that. But Glenn just so happens to be a no-go. The brother got cold feet or something like that, which is not a good look. I do agree with Tommy when he said it's just not a good look when a man can't come through like that, because it shows that the confidence is lacking, and no woman wants a man that's lacking confidence. So it is best that he wasn't on show. Okay, so next we're getting a little bit more of an interaction between the couples now, between the single people, and we have Koshiea and damonte. Now, Koshiea and damonte are having a conversation. Damonte starts talking about, tattoos, and all of them have a different meaning. And I'm like, okay. And then she calls him on it. Okay, let's talk about the one that I can see. And then he was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. But you just said all your tattoos have a special meaning to you. So it sounds like a cap. And it sounds like you go around trying to tell stories that you think was going to make you sound and look more interesting, which will be a red flag. You can pretty much tell by Koshia's, oh, okay. When a woman says, oh, okay, that means she's pretty much done with the conversation. Now, something threw me off. Just a side note here. Why are they recording Tommy calling Glenn? I think this whole Glenn not showing up in the background, whatever, that should have been done, edited a different way to me. Y'all could have edited it. We didn't even have to know who Glenn was, to be honest with you. We could have just edited the whole part out, but I get it. TV antics, I get it. All right, so next we had April and Will. They were having a little conversation. Will said, okay, what do you do for a living? April was playing around with him and said, hey, I sell drugs. And Will was with it, you know what I'm saying? But it was a really nice little playful bounce that they had back and forth between each other. I think there was something that shows that we need to have more of like the fun interaction. I like the fact she was able to have, kind of find a little joke in what she does. All right, so next up we had Alexis and William, and Alexis let it out that, hey, I referee basketball. And I thought to myself, interesting. She shoots hoops and she referees. So that means you understand the game. That means, hey, game night's gonna be dope. Sitting home with boo, eating popcorn, drinking, soda, whatever you want to drink while you're watching the game. That's a good look. And I think that's the visual that most men get who are into sports when they find out that women are also into sports as well. So I think that's a good look that Alexis has that side of her where she can relate to most guys. Koshiea and Dom, they had a good conversation talking about kids and whatnot. But then I'm going to fast forward over to Will and Alexis. They had a really cool vibe, interesting vibe with between those two. And I think though that Will has to take into consideration, Alexis' autoimmune disease, because that is something that's so serious. Dating someone with autoimmune disease means you have to be very understanding of the things they go through, hormonal, mentally, physically, emotionally. All of that is a part of it. So it's something you really have to consider before diving all the way into a relationship with someone with autoimmune disease. So I hope he takes that seriously. I know he said he wanted to pray for her. I think that was a cool gesture, but it would have seemed like he was trying too hard if he had went through with that. So I'm happy that he didn't. But you can always pray for people, when you're alone time. You don't necessarily have to be in front of them to do so. So hopefully he still got that prayer up for her. But big shout out to Alexis, man, for battling what she's battling through, going through what she's going through, and coming out on top. All right, so this next one, when damonte told Mieka that she was sexy, I do not like that. Now, for me, the only woman I will tell that to is a woman that I'm in a relationship with. So, fellas, please understand that when you give a woman that type of compliment, yeah, you think you're being nice, but it comes off as a physical interaction. It comes off, it's a very intimate compliment to give a woman. So for me, out of respect for the women that I'm not in a relationship with, I don't say that to women that I'm not in a relationship with. The woman that I'm in a relationship with, she's the only one who gets that type of saying. So Monte does some things throughout the course of the show to me that just says he's so self-absorbed and it just comes off really, really cocky. Um, he talks about himself a lot. They showed the clips of him talking about himself a lot. You really want to make sure there's a fair exchange, a 50-50 exchange between you and the other person you're talking to make sure that you're both able to share different things about yourself. And don't use the same conversation especially in this type of situation with every other woman. You know what I'm saying? So every woman was able to finish the other woman's sentence when it came down to deliberation, and that's not a good look. I mean, you can talk to one woman about this, another woman about that. There's different layers of your life, so you can expose those to different people instead of saying the same thing about you being a fashion designer and a photographer to other people, to the same people. All right. So next up we had LaRon and koshiea. Now, LaRon had no regard for those gaiters he was wearing because he had that foot to the side and I was screaming for him. Like, brother, please straighten your foot out. You about to ruin your shoes. And then when koshiea pushed his leg and scrubbed his foot against the concrete, I was crying for the gators, y'all. I was crying for him. Now, koshiea did something really interesting. She leaned into him and said she felt that he was being guarded with her. She didn't want him to feel guarded when it comes to her. I like the gesture, but at the same time, it is your first interaction. It's the first time you guys meeting. Everyone is going to be a little bit guarded. It's very rare you find someone being open and vulnerable on the first interaction. When that's the case, that person can be considered to be a little too giving, a little too trusting, a little naive in their day-to-day behavior. So it's just something to be aware about. Now, koshiea, I will say that with her, I like her intentions during this show. I like how she's asking the right questions to dig in deeper with the guys, and she's going to call you on your BS. When she sniffs the BS, she's on to the next. She doesn't have any time to play around. So out of everyone on the show, especially the ladies, I would say koshiea seems the most intentional of everyone who's been dating. All right, so this year, this season they have a little twist. Tommy has a game, Hot and Bothered. I don't understand the title of it. It didn't really match what the game was about. It's more like a guessing game, but they tried. So I think the game was a nice addition to what we've already seen with this show. I understand they're trying to keep reinventing themselves every season, trying to find something new to grab the audience's attention. I do like this, and I like the prize that was associated with this as well. To say that the person who won, will be the one to stay, that was dope. Now, I do feel that Dom and LaRon, the suggestion that both of them will get it, I like that. But of course, no consolation prizes no more. So Domonique ended up winning the game. But I was wondering the whole time, did they even ask April any questions besides that one? Because everything was about the other ladies. I don't know if you guys noticed that as well, but yeah. Now, Alexis made a true statement, and I think people need to hear this. Alexis said her father told her that if a man does not have facial hair, you can't trust him. I've been saying this for years, guys. Man, no mustache or thin mustache, you cannot trust them. Um, it was really interesting though. I think she was more so just playing in a sense, but he has a little facial hair. But William's eyebrows are either halfway there or non-existent. I didn't know what was going on. It's something that was different when looking at him squared up. I'm not going to mention what it is 'cause I think that'll be rude, but it was something different about William when you look square at him. So yeah. Now the next thing was really interesting to me when Koshiea told Will that she was married before and she found out that her husband had 4 kids and she never knew that he had 4 kids. Now the statement that Will made was just such a childish, immature statement that he didn't give any thought to. So for me, for him to say something like that, it just says, okay, I can't come talk to you. That's what it's saying to her. I can't come talk to you. I can't be vulnerable with you because you want to make a joke out of something that I consider to be an embarrassing moment. So it really came off that way. And it was the worst time to ask a woman for her telephone number, Instagram, email, blood type. I don't care what it was you wanted to ask her. That was the wrong time to do so. So goes back to what I say about some men out here don't know how to read the room. A lot of men feel like they got it going on. A lot of men feel like they're the greatest things in sliced bread, and they are failing because they don't know how to read the room. She was no longer interested in you, and I know you had to feel that, but yet you still had the gumption, the wherewithal to ask this lady for her contact information. I was done at that point, bro. I was done at that point. This type of game that you're playing has to work on someone because you can't be dumb enough to think that this was okay behavior. All right, so up next we had Mieka and Dom. They were talking about intimacy before marriage, how important it is, and that they both agree that intimacy does need to take place before marriage. You know, I know a lot of people who don't do intimacy before marriage, and to each their own. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing, but you just have to find someone who's equally yoked with you and on that same journey as you. So I think it's good that she asked that question, but I don't know what it was about Dom that made her want to ask that question because if you're not, um, then why would you feel the need to ask that question? So that was kind of like, I don't really know. Especially this man talking about popping out 10 kids. He's ready to get started immediately. So Dom don't have no problem with that. All right, so April and Damonte have a conversation, and Damonte reveals that, hey, I'm still working on myself. There's some things that, I haven't quite closed the book on yet in regards to my growth. April is not really not feeling that. She made it known she's really not feeling that. I need a man that, has himself in order. And I do agree with that, that a man should not even think about dating someone unless he has himself in a certain position in life where he can still continue to thrive and be in that relationship. But when you have certain goals you're trying to reach, just focus on those goals, man. It's no need to rush into a relationship. All right, so then we have Koshiea and William. He's talking about building a legacy for his grandkids, his grandkids, grandkids, his grandkids, grandkids, grandkids. And the legacy is all behind a gun shop, shooting range. To me, when someone says something about building a legacy, they want to make sure their name rings in these streets because of the greatness that they've accomplished, the greatness they've achieved. And I get that. And I'm trying to understand how is that going to leave a legacy. So a lot of times, ladies, you have to listen to what men say when they talk about legacy, when they talk about things of this type of manner, because he's talking about the future. And if that future does not align with how you want your man to think, it is your decision to whether be with that man or not be with that man. So listen to a man's dreams, listen to his goals, listen to how he wants to be a husband, listen to how he wants to be your partner, and make an informed decision at that time whether or not you want to deal with this type of man. Because not every man is going to align with the way that you want things to be in life or what you want out of a relationship. So you have to make that tough call. So Koshiea don't have a problem making that tough call. You're not the one, bro. All right, so next up, we have the ladies doing their deliberation. They have to select a guy to go home. So that guy ends up being damonte. Now, I can't say it was a big shock to me the way he was talking about himself, the way his appearance was, to his overly confident behavior. Even in being eliminated, damonte stated that with all I have going on for myself, I think they made a mistake. I think they don't know what they're talking about. I'm a prize. Why didn't they pick me to stay? See, this is where it goes back to not being able to read the room. When I talk to a woman, I'm going to determine if she's into me or not into me fairly quickly because women give off those vibes fairly quickly. So it's the difference between just friendly chatter, just passing the time, and someone who's showing genuine interest. The questions that he was answering from the ladies were not enough, did not give enough information or positivity for them to say, okay, I want to pursue things more with you. And this all I have going on bit that he was talking about. It's like you already said you're working on things. You're not quite there yet. Credit's not there yet. You have other goals and aspirations you're trying to reach. It's not your time. And that's what the ladies decided. It's not your time. So, ladies and gentlemen, all in all, that's my 2 cents on these cast members. Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Again, don't forget in the description how to get my new ebook, The Behaviors of an Intentional Man. Behaviors of an Intentional Man will be in the description. Wish you guys the best. See you guys next week. It's your boy Black. Peace.
Black, 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 black.